I definitely, when we look at entrepreneurship and we talk about all the different forms that it takes, I think network marketing is one of the models that doesn't get the cred that it deserves. And today, our guests are Linda Sims, who she's going to tell you more about her work with Rodan and Fields, and Nicole, who works with Young Living essential oils.
I mean, I think like you had said, like you need your team to be successful, and I think that's something I've had to unlearn. Like, I've had to untrain myself and not count on my team's not going to make me successful. Like, I have to look right over what they're doing and keep going as if nobody's there. Because I learned really quick, as soon as nobody's there, it's like, oh, well, like, who's gonna, like, what, how, where are my numbers gonna come from, and what, it's like, no, it's up to you, Nicole, like, it's up to you. Like, what did one of our leaders said, you've got to be your own motivation. And I put that up on my board and was like, you just got to get up and do it every day, and you've got to be your own motivation, because, Sally, whoever, is not going to, do all that for me. As much as I would love to be in that position to be like, you need to do this, or that's not going to happen, or that, do you see, or you could do this, I have to, like, sit on my hands when I'm typing and be like, nope, that's her business, let her do it the way she wants to do it. And I feel like when they're ready to run, they come to me and they say, I'm ready, let's go. And if they know I'll take you, they know, I mean, I'm always in communication with my team. I will do anything to help any of them grow, and even not if they're on my team. I have some amazing relationships with women who I make absolutely no money off of at all, and they make no money off of me, but we put our heads together and we work together and cheer each other on and help each other's downline. And it's just part of being a team, as like Team Young Living, not as in Nicole's team. Or
I did find that as well. Like, I remember thinking when I was still working at corporate Rodan and Fields, how the heck do all these women get together and collaborate when they're not even on each other's team? Yeah, it's unheard of. It's like you getting together with your competitor and going, okay, let's join forces, and how can we build
That's
this
what
business
I love
together?
About it,
it's unheard of. And my husband, so we met both from confectionery companies or chocolate companies, and it's like me collaborating. I work for Lindt and then collaborating with Cadbury chocolate. You just wouldn't do it, but they do it there, and it's really awesome.
It is the community that you build and the belief. I'm curious about you, Nicole. What are some of the, what are your thoughts about network marketing? Because I love that you're here and you have pretty not very much context for it. So what are some of the things you've thought or heard, or
the pros or the cons?
All of it. I think it's great.
What do you want?
We're putting it all on the table today, baby.
Everybody has
We're busting these myths
taste in their mouth.
Well, I think a big part of where the negative taste comes from is people, when you meet them, they go a lot of times go into sales mode. And a part of me is like, I just want to know what you do for work.
Right.
That's it. Right. And then I'll digest it, and then if I, want anything from you, then I'll go out. I'll ask you. I remember earlier, last week, I was talking to someone, and I'm totally interested in just being a customer. And that's all I wanted to be, was a customer. And then automatically she wants me to meet her boss and everything. I'm like, nope. You didn't hear me.
Right.
So you're sort of annoying me right now. Yeah. And that's a feeling you never want me to have. If I'm annoyed with you, then you're dead to me.
Well, I think that's I think that's definitely one of the main things. It's just people just shoot. They're like, bleh. But we do it in business too. Yeah. In any business, when you're getting started, you throw up on people, so to speak, a lot. Your own business.
Yeah. But the positive is, you guys have touched on it a little bit, is I feel like in the recent years, I've had a lot of friends doing some kind of network marketing as their side business. Overall they're an entrepreneur and they have other businesses going on, and they're using it as to maybe just funnel in some money. Maybe they're looking at as how some people are Lyft drivers, right? They do this just to bring in that extra income, and I'm like, okay, that helps them stay afloat, so that way they don't have to go back to a 9 to 5. They're really trying to make it out as, on their own, and this gives them like that ability to do it. And I like it when it makes sense, because, I have friends, and in like whatever business they choose, I'm like, that makes sense for your brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have some that I'm like, you totally got sold on that, because that makes no sense for your personal brand.
You mean like if you're a hairstylist or an esthetician and you're connecting with Rodan and Fields? Or,
exactly. It so that way when they're pitching themselves personally, like their personal brand, it all is under this nice umbrella instead of it being all over the place, right? Because earlier this year I met a doula, right? And so she does essential oils. That made sense. I'm like, totally. That goes, in my mind, I can now put you in this nice little box, right? That's where we go. And so, that's my whole overall thing. I know it's sort of funny you brought up Mary Kay. I feel like that's like the first business everyone is introduced to. Like when they're like an early, their teenage years or early 20s, like someone invites you to a Mary Kay thing, and you're just like, okay.
Yeah. Well, and then the last, I guess the other thing, which is the word we've been avoiding, is this
pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
Right.
We've all heard it, right?
Yeah.
You've had people say it to you. We've heard about pyramid schemes. Pyramid schemes, just to clarify, anybody have the definition of a pyramid scheme?
Go ahead, Lauren.
Please tell. I always ask everyone, what's your definition of a pyramid scheme?
So a pyramid scheme is when you give money in and there's nothing in return for any of these
They're also
businesses.
illegal.
You're buying products. They are illegal. You're buying products. You're getting something out of it. You're investing in like a lot of, there's things. And yes, the person at the top can make all the money off of the top, but the people below them, and that's the model. But like you pointed out, so you can also make more than your top person, really. So there's there's not this like unilateral whatever. There's nothing about like taking away. And like you said too, you have to still be working your business up here, because if you aren't in activity, you're not going to get that commission. Correct. So that's what keeps it from that. But what are your guys' favorite answers for pyramid scheme, or what do you say when people typically ask you that?
I honestly don't get that asked a lot. I think that's more of like behind my back kind of stuff that they must say. But I mean, like I've had it before, and I've literally drawn it out for people and been like, so how is this different from the organization you work at? Like, how it's modeled, really, and can you make more than the person above you or the person that hired you or the CEO in your company? Like, can you make more? And plus, when I think of pyramid scheme, I think of totally illegal, and I think that's not at all what I'm doing.
Exactly. And
I need a good creative answer, though.
Should we all make one right now?
Good answer for the haters.
I remember when I first introduced this to my friends in Australia, going, "You've got to get onto this. Oh my gosh, it's the best thing. Like this company's going to blow up," and I still believe that, like blow up in a good way. And I got back from my friends in Australia in particular, "Oh my gosh, it's a pyramid scheme. Are you kidding me?" And so my first question to them would be, "Well, what's your definition of a pyramid scheme?" And a lot of them would say, they never brought up you're not getting anything for whatever you're doing. It was always that, well, the person up the top is the only one that makes the money. And so I just explained to them that, like you said, and you were saying, Lauren, as well, it's very easy for you to out-earn your sponsor and your sponsor sponsor and your sponsor sponsor. My sponsor, her mother is her sponsor, and then her younger sister is her mother's sponsor, and she out-earns her mother, 4 times over, and her sister about 8 times over.
Well, that's a fun event.
Family. Interesting Thanksgiving conversation.
But I now look at a corporation where I used to work, and when I left Rodan and Fields to become a consultant, I didn't just leave with no job to go to. I started working full-time. Can I say where I worked before? I started working full-time at Kellogg's as a sales manager, and I had 12 sales reps. And I remember they launched an incentive where you had to get displays on the floor, etc. And our team won, and the reps got it was a $30 Starbucks gift card. I got $50. My boss got $600. Sorry, it wasn't a Starbucks gift card. It was
I'm like,
it was just a normal gift card. $600. And then the VP of sales got, it was either $1,000 or $5,000. And I'm like, well, how does that work when you're not actually out there in the field doing the work?
Yeah.
And I remember thinking to me, now that's a pyramid scheme, if ever I saw one. So, I mean, for me, it's all about, it's definitely not a pyramid scheme in the sense that you can earn whatever it is that you want to earn. And the way I coach my team is, the first thing I'll ask them is, what do you want to earn? And then we coach towards that. So some people don't even want to put what I call distributors on, other consultants. They just want to earn $500. Okay, if you want $500, well, you can do that by having customers, and you don't even need to build a team. So
the same with mine too. I think a lot of my team, my girls that are doing this as a business, really just do it, mostly start to just pay their orders, for their orders every month. They want the products in their house and they want to be able to pay for them. And that's all they need. And I feel like I don't need, it would be amazing if I had 6 or 7, people who are just full-time ready to go into this. I don't yet, I will, but I feel like even them just getting their oils, they're working it at their pace, and they're doing it how they want to do it, and I try to, meet them where they're at. This is what's working for them, so I build off of that. But it's like, I still do me and my business, no matter if they're going to spend $50 this month or not, if they're going to do their orders or not. So
I also say to everyone, without going into how much, like the percentages what you earn, but the direct sale that you make to a customer, you make the biggest percentage. So if you've got, say, I put Lauren on, and Lauren has 100 customers, and then I only have Lauren, I'll only make a way smaller percentage on Lauren, and you'll be making a ton of whatever you've done. So right off the bat, you could out earn me 10 times over. And then if somebody's not working their business, their team can way out earn whatever they do. And then our business, particularly like our business model, because if you're not working and your downline is, you can lose that downline. You put onto a timer, and I think that's a fantastic thing, because it's saying you've got to work. You can't just sit back and go, okay, I'm not going to do anything else now. You don't lose your customers, but you could lose your team. So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Harsh, but I think it's good.
Yeah.
You've got 4
That's
months.
reality. It's just life. Like, running a business is just as hard. So it's like, don't put, when people say, oh, if they're complaining about that, it's like, well, if I stopped going out and talking about my business, and I wouldn't have any sales.
I have no business.
That's the way that goes.
Yeah.
It's just plain and simple.
Yeah. I think that's hard when when they have like a side hustle where they're doing multi-level marketing. I think that just really varies in what degree people are in it too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who'd want to get that car payment every month, that extra, they drive, like you said, Lyft, or do that kind of that much time a week so that they can get that extra payment made, or they can pay for whatever it is they need to pay for. And then you've got other people who are ready to do it a little bit step more than that, and work on the team building and put that energy into the team. So
remember, you and I were talking yesterday. Do you remember yesterday?
Yeah.
We had a conversation.
Yeah.
But we were talking about how, like, also you could just be someone on your team could be there just doing whatever, and a life event occurs, and their situation has changed, and they need to run that business now. Like, that can happen. Or you talk to someone one time, you're whatever, you continue the relationship, they're not really buying, and then 3 years later they call and they're like, hey, you know what, I'm ready now, I really want to buy the oils, or I want to start my business, or whatever. So, and that's the same in business too. You just are always I think you were saying, just like moving forward, just keep going, just move forward, don't get distracted, and just keep going. I think that's a great tip for business in general. So yeah.
So final question, because you were sort of touching a little bit about this, is you have to dive into building your business if you want it to grow, right? And so there's some people that just do it for the car payment, and some people that are doing it, they want it to
want to replace their paycheck. Yeah.
So what are some, because other entrepreneurs could definitely use this, what are some tips that you guys have for just networking? Like, you are out there and you have to network. So how do you, like, are there certain organizations you want to network all the time? Like, how do you get your business out there?
I think you need, for everybody, it's going to be different. And I think that also falls into what are you passionate about too. Because I feel like I don't want to spend my time going to things that ultimately don't even fit who I am or what I'm doing with my product. So I feel like for me right now, networking, with a daughter who's in school still, that means I started going to church again. That means I joined a gym. That means I go to classes that other friends have that, where I meet people, or that means pushing myself to go to a reception that I would have otherwise not gone to, or just things that, and I always go to these things, and then I don't want to go, and I push myself to go, and then I come back and go, I just talked oils for like 20 minutes with some random person in the bathroom. Like, you know, I mean, that's what happens to me all the time. My husband, I'm like, see, I went and I didn't even want to go, but I walked away with, you know, new connections, and I think that's huge. I think one other thing to point out on that note too is that building these businesses, no matter what you're doing, whether it's Rodan Fields, Young Living, whatever you're doing, is all, to me, is about relationships. And you're not going to do anything in network marketing without those relationships and nurturing those relationships, whether that's your team, your customers, your best friends, your, you know, whatever part of that business you want to grow. I feel like your energy's got to be in there too. So wherever you choose a network at, maybe, you know, I don't know, for some moms they do it's those things where where other moms are going to be with their kids, with kids your age, or for some people it's going to be something totally different, or but I think you just need to find it, and you've got to build those relationships in whatever aspect of networking you're doing.
Yeah. I go to a lot of networking events and chamber events as well. I mean, for me, yes, I've got a lot of customers, so and I try to, I mean, we're always taught lead with the business first. I don't necessarily agree with that all the time. Sorry if anyone from Rodan Fields is hearing this, but I just like to sort of like follow my gut more than anything. And if I feel like, you know, there's a word for somebody's looking for an extra income or a business, then I'll talk about the business. Otherwise, I really love the products, and you know, I feel like if I can get more people on board using the products, then we'll get out there, like our brand awareness will be even bigger. But I do like to just go to lots of networking events, lots of chamber events, accept any social invitation I can, and whenever I can, even if you don't feel like going. And then it's just striking up conversations, like, you know, what are you passionate about? I'm passionate about skincare, so I could be sitting next to somebody on a plane, and you know, we start talking about skincare, because it's, the conversation normally goes, what do you do for work? So, and I've always got samples in my bag. And so it's really just striking up the conversation with whoever you're talking to, because it is something that I am passionate about.
Yeah, so I've worked with a few women in network marketing, and then also taking my experience as a brand person, you know, brand strategist, and relating it back to it and talking about networking, getting really clear. I think it's really important to get really clear on your own brand and how you want to build your team, because even though you're within an organization that's a larger, you know, thing, the idea is too, your brand kind of sits within that brand. So one of the keys for the network marketing, you both have different lives, you know, you're a mom, you live in Sassoon, or, you know, and you're a professional, you're married, and you're in Walnut Creek, no children, international. And so getting really clear on what you want your target audience to be, meaning like what is the team you want to build and the personality of that, and then you can be a lot more directive about who it is that you want to talk, which events to go to, who to talk to, whether you lead with the business or you lead with the product. It's really a dance of both of them, because you still do need business builders if you're trying to build. So you need to be able to have those conversations, but you're right, like, you know, sometimes people don't want to have that conversation. They're going to shut you down like Nicole did, and she's done then, right? Rather than being like, hey, this is skincare. You both said it was the products that really like change you. So if they're not really ready to hear that, then let them experience it and come to their own conclusion.
Well, and I feel like people are buying, yes, they're buying these amazing products that these companies make, but they're really buying a piece of you and your heart. Like, they're, you know, they can go to 1,000, there's a million gazillion different distributors for every different company right now that they could find. And I mean, you could even just sign up and they'll sign you one if you really don't want it, you know, with anybody. But I feel like I have so many people who I don't even know like that they know what I do, or that they know I spend so much time on this, but they'll call me out of the blue and be like, I need this and I need that, and you're my oil person. I was like, I didn't even think you knew this as I've been doing this. It's only been like 3.5 years and I've never heard a peep from you, but like, okay. And it just goes to show you, like, people are watching and people are seeing, and that you start to brand yourself as you're this, you know, you're the expert in this, or you're the go-to for that. That I think that really resonates too, and that you just really, I try anyways to stay true to who I am in, whether it's social media or in person or classes or whatever, and I'm the one with the potty mouth, and I'm the one that's gonna make the jokes and be smartass. And I try to keep that in all of my networking or in all of my, like if I just came out and spilled all this stuff about with the company and advertising and barf all this stuff, they'll be like, that doesn't really sound like Nicole. So I try to still keep it who I am, and so I feel like we're working on this relationship, and the products and the business are just a bonus of all of that, really.
Yeah.
Of that, that relationship that you build with these people.
And you have to have that relationship. Yeah. But in terms of
All
branding,
about relationship.
yeah. Well, it definitely is. Absolutely. I mean, I was at this micro aesthetics convention, not last weekend, but the weekend before, and like what you were saying, they could buy from anybody, but it's after building those relationships. There's one lady who just signed up today, ironically, and she was like, I've had so many Rodan and Fields people just come at me going, do you want to, you should come on board, you own a salon, blah, 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 blah. And she said, you were just so nice about it. And she said, you never once asked me about the business, but I gave her products to take to a room that night to use that she didn't have in her spa, and she really liked them. And so she's just going to sell those products in her spa, which is cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
It was really awesome. So, you've got to build that relationship first, and the trust, I think, as well.
Because at the start of it, when you and I talk to people about it, you want to help them and you want to get them what they need too. So it's not just about like how's this going to affect my commission check. No, this is about trying to help people that you care about get answers that they need and feel better or look better or whatever it is that you're doing. So that's huge.
Totally agree. Yeah.
So thank you both for being here today. Really appreciate it. And thank you, Lauren, for bringing them on.
Yeah.
So we talked about building your team, building relationships, selling, and like transitioning from a full-time job into entrepreneurship. So network marketing is very entrepreneurship. So
Very much.
something I learned something new today. So thank you again so much for joining
put all
us.
their links in below. All
their info will be below. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. See you guys next week.
Thanks. Bye.